Well, good morning. I'm going to get started because I'm expecting to fill up most of the time this morning with what we're going to talk about. So welcome those of you who are joined, and I'm thinking there'll be a few more people coming in. This is Barb Chambor, and this is, I guess, the third in a series of 4 webinars that we're conducting that will provide you with information about the clic-on-health for local health professionals project and webpage. Today we're going to talk about using the clic-on-health for local health professionals page to search for drug, medication information, and for consumer health websites. And if I didn't mention it, I am Barbara Chambor, and I'm the outreach librarian at the Rochester Regional Library Council. What I'm going to ask you to do, actually I've muted you, but I will unmute you toward the end of the session. But if you do have questions, if you click on your control panel arrow there, it's an orange box with a little white arrow, you can actually raise your hand and type in questions, and my colleague April Younglove is here and she can monitor the questions, and if you do need to ask a question during the course of the session, she can help you out. So again, we're going to cover quite a bit today, so let's get started. This again is the clic-on-health website, and we're going to look at the local health professionals page. Much of what we'll see today, which is going to concern medication, drug information, and consumer health websites, are also available on the consumer health side of clic-on-health. So if you were to look at under the health information category, disease and wellness, drugs and medications, you will see some of the same resources that we're going to take a look at today. But I do want to search today from the local health professionals page, as we've been doing over the course of the last several weeks in terms of providing information for local health professionals, information that includes clinical websites, peer-reviewed, evidence-based literature, as well as consumer health information, which we're going to look at more closely today. And you can get to it from here, or you can click on the banner on this side of the screen. So let's go ahead and look at the local health professionals page. And today we're going to look at the drugs and medication page and the consumer health page as well. So let's get started. Okay, so what we have here is a series of websites that will provide information about prescription and non-prescription drugs, as well as herbal medicines and supplements. Some of the websites also provide information about paying for medication as well. These were recommended to us by steering committee members, our nursing partners, and so forth, and they are reputable in terms of the type of information you're going to be able to locate. So let's take a look at the ones that we have up on top here. We actually, when we created our drug and medication page, we didn't have a drug identification site, and the school nurses recommended to us that we include this type of website on our page because they were, very often in a situation where they had to identify a drug that they, found on the floor or something like that. So we selected 3 sites, and they will all basically do the same thing for you in terms of identifying a drug by imprint, by color, by shape. And it's really up to you which one you'd like to select. I can show you here the drugs.com pill identifier. Will allow you to search again on a imprint, on a color, on a shape. I'll ask for your patience today because we've been a little bit slow in terms of bringing up some of these websites, so hopefully that will not slow us down today. But this is working here. This is going to be drugs.com pill identification page, and again, they can, you have to agree to the use of the website. Again, a little slow. Okay, there we go. Okay, and again, the imprint, if you have the, is an example here that they give you if you have the pill in your hand. Obviously you're going to be able to put that information in there, and then color and shape, and then you can just go ahead and search. It's pretty straightforward for you if that's what you'd like to search for. Let me just back up here. Okay, and then there are two others. This is from the National Library of Medicine, and it's actually a beta site, but it works in the same manner that the other sites do in terms of putting in an imprint number or a color or a shape. And then we have one others from WebMD. This one does have advertisements, but it works as well as the other two. So that is something that might be potentially useful for you if you need to identify a particular drug. Okay, let's keep moving here. We have a series of resources that are from the FDA, and we've got those included here. But before we go into those, I just want to show you a service that's from the National Library of Medicine. It's the Drug Information Portal, and it allows you to search across multiple databases that contain drug information from the National Library of Medicine. And I think this is kind of an interesting resource because it will allow you to search on a drug name. You can also search on categories, and it will search, as I said, across multiple databases. When you take a look up here on the top of the screen, you can get additional information about what's included in this database. There's news and features. These are the databases that are available through the National Library of Medicine that when you put in a drug name, these are the resources that will be databases that will be searched. There's additional information to help you with your search here. They also can do a search by audience type. So we've got the general public, health professionals, and so forth. So that might be of interest to you in terms of doing your search. And then you can search by the class of the drug, prescription, over the counter, and so forth. And then there are other resources that will link out to other agencies that will provide you with information concerning drugs. So let me just do a quick search here. I'm going to search on Accutane, which is a drug name. Okay, it provides search results, drug name, description, and then categories, which you can link out to and get some additional information that will show drugs within the category of dermatologic agents. So this is where you'll find your summary, and it will tell you where the information is from. In this case, it's MedlinePlus, so that's going to be consumer-oriented, summary of drug information. Some additional information from MedlinePlus Health Topics. This is LacMed, which is a database which will concern lactating mothers and children, any effects that the drug has on breastfeeding mothers here. And then there's additional databases that are drug-related where you can find information. Here's the drug label, clinical trials. We'll look at some of these databases in a little more detail in a few minutes. And then there's that identification drug ID site that I talked about just a couple of minutes ago that will allow you to actually identify the drug. And then there's some detailed information in some of these other databases. So I like this resource because, again, it will quickly give you some information over a variety of different resources. And it's from the National Library of Medicine, so you know it's good. Okay, and we're just going to back up a little bit and continue. So let's take a look at the Center for Drug Evaluation and Research. This is going to provide information about prescription drugs approved by the FDA, and it's also offered in Spanish. Sorry about the delay in bringing the screens up. Okay, here we are. So it's FDA, U.S. Food and Drug Administration. We've actually go directly to the drugs section, but you can see there's a lot more here concerning home products, food, medical devices, and so forth. But our link will bring you right to the drugs page. And there's quite a bit of information here on drug-related topics. There are spotlight info here, drug shortages, and more as well. So this might be, you know, a good source for you. FDA obviously is reputable. I'm going to type in as an example Seroquel, and that is a particular drug. Okay, and it tells you where you can find information from this resource on this particular drug. And here's the medication guide, more information here, different documents and so forth. So, if, you know, it's up to you if you want to search these here. If I just link to this, it's going to link to a PDF, I believe. Okay, and this again can be printed, provide information regarding some of the risks, side effects, and so forth. Okay. All right, so let's continue here. We're going to go and take a look at the Center Watch for FDA-approved drugs. Okay, now this is not FDA. It is an agency that brings together research on drugs that are used in clinical trials. So it is more of a clinical trials database that will present information concerning FDA-approved drugs. And it has some useful information, again, regarding clinical trials and drug information in general. But in part of this database, there is a subscription requirement, so you would have to pay for it. Some of it is free, but if you are interested in looking for information concerning clinical trials, my suggestion is to actually go to the clinicaltrials.gov, which we're going to look at in a few minutes, and that is all free of charge, and you're going to be able to search for drug information as well as conditions, medical conditions in terms of clinical trials that are ongoing. But this is just another resource for you if you're interested in finding information concerning medications that are being used in clinical trials right now. Okay, so let me click out of here, and we're going to continue. And we're going to take a look on the next line here is Daily Med. And this one is going to present information concerning FDA-approved labeling and package inserts. Okay, so any kind of information that's on a package for medication, you're going to be able to find here. And you can limit it here by the drug name, by the code, and DC code, drug class, and so forth. I'm just going to type in, let's see, Lipitor. There we go. Okay, and you can select, apparently it comes up number of different records here. I'm just going to select the first one that pops up just to show you the record. And it you can actually, you know, zoom down to the different sections here. These are drug labeling sections. So if you you know, just page down here, it will provide you with quite a bit of information, indications and usage, dosage, administration, and so forth. This you can print, but it, you know, it's pretty complete in terms of the information that is provided concerning labeling information from the FDA. So you can see so far, I think you're getting the idea that there's a variety of different kinds of information concerning drugs, medications, and we've tried to include on this page, you know, a sampling of the type of info that might be useful for you. You wouldn't necessarily go into one database to get, you know, if you're interested in clinical trials, you choose one database as opposed to some of the others. But as I said, we try to have a variety of different resources that are going to be a part of this page. So that was Daily Med. We're going to continue here. We're going to take a look at the Drug Digest database, which I actually have used for my, you know, searching on a medication if one of my kids is taking a medication and I want to know if there's any issue with drug interactions and so forth. This is a good database to do a quick search. You can take a look at the tabs here. You can actually find information about drugs and vitamins in this case, also herbs and supplements, and they do have a identification and imaging section here in this database, so that might be another reason to search this resource. The drug interactions section is interesting. Here, if you click on check interactions, you can select multiple drugs and see if there's any interactions that are on record there. Also, if there's any interactions with food or alcohol. So let me just do a search here. We're going to search on, let's see here, Plavix. Okay, and we're going to add it to the interaction list. And you see it brings it into that box. And then we're going to try another drug, Prilosec. Prilosec. Okay. And there are several. I'll just select the over-the-counter delayed release tablets and add them to the list. And then I'm going to see if there are any interactions and also if there's anything relating to interactions with food or alcohol that'll come up too. Okay, so in red here it tells me there are 2 potential interactions between these 2 drugs. Give you a little bit of information on what that interactions may be. It says here too that it's poorly documented, okay, but that it is considered major in severity. So that's kind of an interesting, quick way to run an interaction search there. You can also compare drugs if you're interested in knowing how drugs are used, multiple drugs are used to treat a condition. That might be something that you'd want to look at. Also, side effects. Maybe one drug is not as difficult to take as another. So if you look here under drug comparisons, they have them by category. I'll just type in Risperdal. Oop, I guess I didn't like that. Let's try that again. Sorry. I'm looking to see about side effects, and it should bring up oh, you know what? Apologize, I am in the wrong section. Let me go to side effect comparisons. So you see that if you're comparing drugs, you can compare drugs that are used to treat a particular condition. This is really what I want to show you right now, side effect comparisons. So I am going to type that in again. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, and you just select the particular drug that you're looking for. We'll pick the Risperdal tablets, and it will bring up reported side effects of this particular drug, and it actually tells you what the side effect is. And then if you want to compare it with another drug, and there apparently are quite a few that are used to treat, Risperdal is used to treat, I believe it's OCD and some other behavioral conditions, and then they will have a listing of other drugs that are also used to treat similar conditions. You can just do a comparison. So if we want to select that one, or there's Seroquel, if you want to try that, we'll just go ahead and do this, and it will bring up a comparison of side effects. So this is something, again, if you want to decide if one might, obviously working with your physician, but this might be some useful information for you to compare side effects. I know my mom was taking some cholesterol lowering drugs, and she went through a few of them because there were some that had, side effects that she couldn't deal with, and then there were some others that were better. So obviously this is just, just a nice tool for you to find this kind of information. And then you've got your conditions and treatments if you want to go in and see what drugs are used to treat particular conditions. So I actually like this database, and it's pretty straightforward in terms of using it, again, for interactions and comparisons. Okay, so let's keep moving here. We're going to take a look at the drugs and supplements page here from MedlinePlus. And MedlinePlus is a database that we really like. You can see, if you've noticed here, on the top of all of our pages, you can actually go in directly and search MedlinePlus. They have some excellent medication related information, and we link directly to the page here, drugs and supplements. So it'll provide an index of both prescription and non-prescription drugs, as well as herbal medications and supplements. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. Again, sorry, it's a little slow. Okay, so here is MedlinePlus, and there's a lot of great stuff in MedlinePlus. We'll take a look at some more of the features in a few minutes, but this page will directly link you to the drug supplements and herbal information section. Now you can go ahead and just type in a term right here in the search box, but I want to have you take a look here. Again, we've got the drugs, prescription, over-the-counter drugs, including side effects, dosage, interactions, precautions, and so forth. You can browse. You can we can select a particular drug, and let's just go to C here, and you can see under C there's quite a bit. I can select any of them actually, but let's see. Let's just pick this one here, captopril. And all the records are designed the same way. You're going to be able to jump to the specific section of the page if you want to know about storage conditions and you're not interested particularly in going through the record. You can zoom right down to that section. But I do want to show you here, in this case there's a warning here, if you're breastfeeding or pregnant, obviously you need the advice of a physician if you're taking this medication, and that's going to be up in top in a red box. And you'll get general information on why the prescription's prescribed, when it should be used, and so forth. It has a kind of a nice, concise, complete record, and then you can go back and browse the drugs and medication section again if you're interested in that. Related topics are also on the side of the screen here. Here's the packaging. Remember, we looked at this database there earlier. You can link to that information as well. Take a look also at the herbs and supplements section. So not only are you able to search for prescription over-the-counter medication, you can look for information on herbs and supplements. And I like this because you can do a search on Google on an herb, and you're going to get lots of info, but you're probably going to also get solicitation to buy items and things like that. Well, we don't really want to link to that type of information. We want to provide links to information that's going to be objective and non-biased and so forth. So that's what you're going to find here. And you can, again, do a alphabetic browse. I'll go to G, and let's see. I think I would like to know about ginkgo, whether it's going to be effective in terms of improving memory. And this is a link to the National Center for Complementary and Alternative Medicine. And you can link, jump right to the section of the page that you're interested in. There's some additional information up here if you'd like to know more about this particular database. And then they have related topics that might be of interest to you. The link out, here's that clinical trials database, which is a terrific database. So apparently there's information on ongoing trials in the use of using ginkgo, and you can always do additional search there. But let's just take a look at this record. What it's used for, how it's used. I like what the science says because, again, if you're trying to verify if this is going to be effective, you can see, well, what kind of studies have been done out there, where is clinical evidence to show that this works. And apparently, let's see here, it says smaller studies of ginkgo for memory enhancement have had promising results, but a trial sponsored by the National Institute on Aging of more than 200 healthy adults over age 60 found that ginkgo taken for 6 weeks did not improve memory. Okay. Well, again, you'd make a decision based on that in consulting with your physician, but I think it's good information here to be able to provide you with the ability to determine whether you want to go out and buy this. So that is, again, from the MedlinePlus. the drugs and supplements section, which includes herbs and supplements as well. Okay, so it's really a terrific database, and we're going to look at a little bit more of MedlinePlus in a few minutes' time. All right, so let's just continue with our drug information. Drugs at FDA, okay. Info from the FDA here. Let's see here. Sorry for the delay. Okay, U.S. Food and Drug Administration. And you can, again, type in the drug directly and find information about it, or you can do a browse by drug name as well. So you can see we do have a lot from the FDA. It's the good source for your not only drug information, but again, information on food and medical devices and other things as well. Let's just continue with the next site here. And we have FDA recalls, market withdrawals, and safety alerts. So this is going to, information you hear on the news quite often about different food items being recalled. Well, this will give you a link to all recalls, including food or drugs, if you want to click on drugs there. And these are updated, it's fairly current, so you're going to be able to see here the date, the brand name, product description, and the reason, which is kind of interesting, and then you can get some additional information. So, I hear all the time on food, like what kind of food recalls are out there. Well, that you can go here for that information as well. Okay. All right, so that is, pretty quickly an overview of the drug information websites that we have linked here. We also have some resources that will provide information about paying for medication. In this case, it's EPIC, which is the Elderly Pharmaceutical Insurance Coverage Program. That's from the New York State Department of Health. So that might be useful for you here if you're going to look for information. Taking a minute to connect here. Okay, and if I like this that you can actually change the text size if you need to do that, and it has quite a bit of info on the EPIC program as well as other information from the State Department of Health. Okay, info from MedlinePlus, providing an overview, latest news about the Medicare prescription coverage. And start here. I like MedlinePlus because it will kind of get you started. There's other languages as well, Spanish and in this case Russian, and some other resource information here concerning the topic. Okay, drug prices. Okay, this site, it will provide comparisons for prescription drugs in New York State, and you can search by county, by zip code. So let's take a look at this. This is kind of interesting. Searching. Okay, I'm just going to select the first one that's here, Abilify. It's not all the drugs that are out there, but it's 150 of the most frequently prescribed drugs. So I'll just select Abilify and add it, and it will bring it up there in that box. And I'm going to search, let's search by county. Let's try Livingston County here. There we go. And we'll do a search. You can also search by zip code and a proximity in terms of mileage. Okay, so it did find pharmacies, Walmart, Tops, Wegmans, so forth, local pharmacies as well. And the price, the cost is listed here. And they do, it looks like they go from the least expensive up. And you can do comparisons here. It says choose up to 3. We'll just take a look at the top 3 here and compare prices. And there you go, and you have contact info. My suggestion is you do, if you locate information, you see a substantial difference in price, contact the store, the telephone numbers there just to verify, because I don't think this is updated daily. Okay. All right, but that's kind of a neat resource there. And then we also have links. This is from the National Network of Libraries of Medicine, information about prescription assistance programs. Again, sorry, it's a little slow. Okay, so again, you know, for just some general information, it's provided through the National Network of Libraries of Medicine, so it is reputable. You might be able to find information if you're searching for your for clients about you know, prescription assistance programs. Okay, so that's fairly quickly the sites that we have linked from our local health professionals page. If you're looking for information, drugs, medication information, take a look here. So we're going to continue. I'm going to go back to the home page here. And we're going to look at some consumer health sites. Now, as I mentioned in the start of the session, much of what we have linked for the local health professionals and concerning consumer health websites, you'll also be able to find here on our consumer side of clic-on-health under disease and wellness. Local health professionals, you know, you're going to need to find consumer health information for yourself and for your clients, and we felt it was important to include that from the local health professionals page under consumer health. So let's take a look, and we can talk about some of these websites that are really terrific, I think, in terms of providing information that can be understood by the health consumer, but also will be useful for the health professional. The first one that we have here is MedlinePlus, and again, you know, we do like MedlinePlus. You can see we have a search box at the top of every screen here, but we're going to link directly here, and MedlinePlus is from the National Library of Medicine, includes over, I believe, 800 health topics, all disease conditions, drug information, clinical trials, and much more. So let's take a look here, MedlinePlus. And from the main search screen, okay, you can actually type in a term right there and it will search the database. But let's take a look here at some of the features. There are health topics, drugs and supplements. Remember, we actually linked to that page directly just a few minutes ago. And then there's videos and cool tools. We'll take a look at that shortly. You also have access to a dictionary, a medical dictionary. It'll tell you there's been some popular searches here. If you link to any of these, you'll be able to pull up the results. General information here. There's, you know, info of interest to seniors, men, women, children. You've got your health news that's posted, updated daily. You can set up an email alert if you're interested in a particular topic. You can set that up. We've got a link to the NIH Senior Health resource, as well as clinical trials, which I have mentioned that multiple times today. We're going to take a look at that shortly. They have a featured site, and this does change. You can go to your directories, your organizations, or a medical encyclopedia. Has a medical encyclopedia that has nice illustrations. There's the MedlinePlus magazine, which you can search online. There's also an easy-to-read feature that if you want to search on topics for a reading level at like 4th, 5th grade, easier to read, that might be an option for you. And multiple languages, many languages, not just English and not just Spanish, but multiple languages. All right, let's take a look at a couple of the ways you can search MedlinePlus. I'll show you here health topics, and they have categories by body location systems, which you can decide if you want to go and take a look at that and browse. Also, you can search under disorders and conditions, which are fairly general, diagnosis and therapy, demographic groups, and then health and wellness issues. Or you can browse alphabetically, or you can just, again, type in the term right at the top. Let's just take a quick look here under one of the categories, blood, heart, and circulation. Brings up a picture from the encyclopedia. It asks you to select one from here if that's what you'd like to search on, or you can search one of the health topics. I'll just pick the one on top here at abdominal aortic aneurysm. You want to see aortic aneurysm. You'll get a brief description of what it is. You get links to the medical encyclopedia, and then you'll be able to find, we'll start here. I like that they provide basically a starting off point for you to get an overview of the topic. You can also go directly to sections of the record, the basics, learn more. They have multimedia cool tools, which will include interactive tutorials, videos. They also have some surgical videos, not in this case, but you might be able to find, you might be able to find that if that's something you're interested in. They have links to related topics, to the National Institute of Health, and in this case, information on this topic is available in both Arabic and Spanish. Research, okay, if you want to search the clinical literature, PubMed, Medline, they have already provided you with a search on PubMed, Medline on this topic, so you can get a few articles on the topic. Again, this is consumer health info, but you can link to the clinical search results as well. There's your clinical trials database. Again, that's a database that comes up repeatedly in our session today. There's a reference shelf, which you can get your dictionaries and statistical information and so forth. And patient handouts, if you are providing information to your client family members, patient handouts might be a good resource to go to. So all the records are going to look, I mean, the information is going to be different, but the setup of the record is going to be look like this here. Okay, so that is your health topics, your drug and supplements we already looked at from our drug info page, and there's our video and cool tools, which again, you've got interactive tutorials, anatomy videos, and surgery videos. There's calculators and quizzes and games as well. This is useful for the consumer, understanding medical words, evaluating health information, and so forth. So it is, again, it is for consumers, but there's going to be info here for health professionals as well. Let me go back to the home page here. So there's quite a bit here, but I like MedlinePlus very much. I think it's really an excellent resource, and it will provide you with good info to use for your own questions or for your clients' questions. Okay, so let's continue here. That was MedlinePlus. We're going to look at a few other resources as well. We've got the Merck Manual, which is the online version of the book, the Merck Manual, and it will provide a lot of good information, complete, concise information on medical topics, diseases, diagnosis and prevention, so forth. You can search it like a book. You can, when it comes up, you'll see that there are sections you can go through. They're general sections, or you can look at the index. So if you were, for instance, looking at the section blood disorders, and it will break it down like chapters within a book. So it's very much, an electronic version of a book that will provide information on a whole variety of different health topics here, conditions. Okay, we're going to continue here. Health Finder, which is from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, also a very good consumer health database. You can search by health topic. Categories are listed. In a second you'll see. A to Z. So you can link, for instance, if you go to the A listing, it will allow you to select a topic and provide links out to other resources, and it will tell you where you're going here. So it basically acts as a gateway to other resources out on the internet, and very reliable resources as well, and tells you here if this is in Spanish or English Spanish. So it is consumer health info from healthfinder.com. Okay, National Cancer Institute. An excellent place, starting off point if you have a question regarding a cancer diagnosis. For the consumer, they do have information for the health professional, but here again, if you want to select, you can search right up on top here. There's your clinical trials again, cancer statistics, your cancer topics is what's going to come up here. Let's just select one here, bladder cancer, for example. Gives you a brief definition, and they provide online booklets, which you can actually print, what you need to know about bladder cancer in this case. So again, working with your physician, it provides information for the consumer, but the health professional, there is also a feature there that you can get information for your use as well. And we've got it by treatment, prevention, genetics, causes, screening and testing, clinical trials, the literature in PubMed, Medline, and some additional info as well concerning research, NCI-supported research, and statistics. So I think it's really a great, as I said, a concise place to start a search relating to cancer question. Okay, choosemyplate.gov. All right, this is for nutrition related question for the consumer in terms of choosing the, nutritional guidance in terms of choosing the food that you eat and physical activity and tracking that as well. So it is, what's in the news these days here. It is, consumer oriented, but you do have a section here that will be of interest to healthcare professionals and links out to other resources as well. So if you have need of information for yourself, your family, or for your clients that's nutrition oriented, this might be a good resource to consult. Okay, let's keep moving here. We're going to look at another resource that I think is interesting. It's from the National Library of Medicine. It is the Genetics Home Reference, and it will provide information concerning genetic conditions, and the genes and chromosomes that relate to these conditions. And it's like an encyclopedia, really, in terms of the information that is provided. You can search on the genetic disorders from A to Z. You can also, there's a search box. You can just click it and type in whatever the condition is you're interested in. But in the genetic conditions section, you're going to find more than 700 conditions that you can search on. Information about the different genes, chromosomes, and there's a handbook as well, glossary, and resources, which is useful because it will link out to information, support groups, and so forth for families dealing with different genetic conditions in terms of diagnosis and so forth. It is, user-friendly. Let me just show you here. We'll take a look at genetic conditions, and you can, select by category, body system, or you can, again, browse. Most of these databases allow you to search multiple ways. Most often viewed here, let's pick one of those, all right, Angelman syndrome. Let's take a look at what the record looks like. You can jump to the section, or you can browse through the record. It will tell you what the syndrome is about, how common it is, and so forth. They also give you links to other sources as well. There's MedlinePlus, the encyclopedia. We'll link that for you. Where can I find additional information? Other resources. Patient support. Let's take a look at that for patients and families. And these will link out to reputable websites that might provide additional support information. So I like this database. I think it might be of interest. So I know the school nurses were asking for this resource. It might be of interest to the general public as well. Okay, let's keep moving here. Lab tests online. This is pretty straightforward. It will allow you to search on a particular lab test what a test is used for, or you can search on a medical condition in terms of what tests are used to diagnose tests for a particular condition. It's also in Spanish, English, and in Spanish. Take a look here. And you can, on this side of the screen, you can actually select a particular test. I'll just select ACT, and it will give you info on what the test is called, related tests, why get tested, and so forth. And there's some additional information on the test as well. And you can print it, you can email it, you can search on diseases and conditions. That's also available from the first screen. Let's just try anemia there. And it will tell you in terms of the condition what it is and how it's tested, what tests are used there. So I think it's, if you've got a quick search that you need to determine what tests are going to be used if you have a condition. I think if my kids are going to, if the physician's going to say have this test done or that test done, I do want to know why, why we're doing it. So again, it'll just, provide you with some information on testing here. So we're going to back out here. Okay, let's keep moving. We've got a few more minutes. I want to get everything in. So clinical trials. All right, this I have mentioned multiple times during the course of the session this morning. It will allow you to search on trials that are out there worldwide or the United States, or you can limit it to Rochester from U.S. National Institute of Health. You can search on a condition. You can search on a medication, and you can, plug in the geographic location as well. So here you search for clinical trials. I'm just going to do a real quick search here. I'm going to type in Parkinson's and Rochester, New York, because it will search Rochester, Minnesota as well. And this is just real quick search there. Okay, and it tells me that there are 50 studies. Doesn't give me detail about, what they're studying, but it will tell me, okay, Parkinson's in Rochester, New York. Some of these are completed, and what I want is just to see studies that they're looking for. It's a current study, they're possibly looking for additional recruits. So I'm going to hide studies that are not seeking new volunteers, and that brought it down a little bit, but there are 10 that are recruiting, and you can take a look here. We'll just select the first one, and it'll give you contact information. It's being done at the University of Rochester, funded, looks like, through the National Institute of Neurologic Disorders and Stroke. And you can get a little bit more info on what's going on here. And at the bottom, I believe, is the contact info if you are interested in learning more about participating in a clinical trial. So I think it's a nice resource. And, you've heard it mentioned multiple times, linked from multiple databases. So this is a good resource to be aware of. Okay, Skin Site. This is, I believe, is produced by the University of Rochester, and it will cover dermatologic conditions diagnosis, images. There's over 2,000 images as well as patient handouts. And you can actually, you can look for the images and bring it up by condition, but you can do what they call a skin condition finder. And let's see here, it's taking a minute. Okay. This is the one I remember last week when I was testing the sites. This is the one that took a little bit of time to pull up. Okay, here we are here. So you can, look for, it's primarily an image database where you can find, you can look at it and compare, if you want to find different conditions. Here they have a skin rash finder, and so forth. This one I wanted to show you here. If you go to Skin Condition Finder, and you can select by age. So let's pick infant, and by the sex. In a second it'll come up. Let's say male, and then by the location. So say you were looking for the chest, the front of the chest. Well, the chest is in the front, but and we will go. So it's well, we wanted infant here, but let's see here. Let's see what we got. Okay, well, it pulled up the adult there. I was looking for child, but you get the idea here. If you play around with it, you'll be able to locate results that are possibly matches, and you'd be able to see the image here. So it might be a useful tool for you if you're looking to figure out what the heck your infant has on his chest, I guess. Obviously, all of these they're consumer-oriented, but working in conjunction with your physician or your health practitioner. It'll just provide you with some info before you go in and see your health practitioner. Okay, let's get back here. The last site I want to tell you about. I like this one also. It's from the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. You can search on multiple health topics, and again, it is consumer-oriented, but there's good info for the health professional here as well. What I think is interesting in this site, I mean, what's in the news today, you're going to be able to find here. I also like the travel info here. They've got a section here for travelers' health. There you go. Also specific life stages and populations. Take a look at that. They break it down by special populations. That might be of interest to you. There we go. And if you go back to the main search page, you can search on multitude of disease and conditions. Again, alphabetic searching or by general topic. Let's take a look here. It's alphabetically arranged, so we're going to look at ADHD. And there's general information here, facts, data, and statistics. This is the CDC, so you're going to see a lot of reporting data here, and then links to other resources, your guidelines. If you had taken one of the previous webinars, we did talk about clinical practice guidelines. It will link from this page to updated guidelines on, in this case, ADHD, and then some other resources that might be of interest to you as well. So I like this database. It is busy. There's a lot of info on it, but if you go to a specific topic, health topic, it will give you a lot of good info, including free materials and info that you could provide to your client if that was something you were interested in. And you can email, print, share it, social networking sites, and so forth. Okay, so that is the CDC site, and that is pretty much a quick overview of what we have linked from the local health professionals page concerning both drug, medication information, and consumer health sites. Let's see here. Let's get back and let me open it up. Let's see if I can click to unmute if anyone has a question now, or if you can type it in if you want to do that. Anybody have a question? No? Anybody have a question during the session? No? Okay, good. I guess that's good. Okay. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm just going to, poll you. I've got a question, and if you can respond to that, that would be great. We have one more session that is coming up next week on the 17th. And this one we're going to talk about how you can use the clic-on-health local health professionals page to link out to the New York State Library's Novel New York databases, specifically their free health databases. Novel New York is the New York Online Virtual Electronic Library. It provides access to actually almost 40 databases, several of which are health-related. It's really, I feel, a resource that all New York State residents should know about. It is available free of charge if you have a driver's license or a public library card. So we're going to be talking about that April 17th. Hopefully you can join us for that one. And we are recording all of our sessions, so we will have all the webinars, the 4 of them, up on our web page here. Let's see here. I'll show you where they will be. We will be posting them to the Tutorials for Health Professionals page probably next week. Okay, so let me send you a question here, and we'll post that. And then I will, you can respond there. I will be sending you also an online evaluation if you'd be so kind as to respond. That'll come in your email probably tomorrow, and that'll help us in terms of planning future webinars. So thank you very much for participating in today's session. If you have any questions, you can give me a call or email me, bchambor at rrlc.org. I think I have that info listed right here. Yep. So hopefully you'll join us for our next session, and have a great day. Yeah. Okay.